Hey, it's Andrew Morgan, host of the Nomcast, the Netflix original movie podcast. Each week we preview and review the biggest Netflix original movies with special guests from the film industry, the music industry, comedians, and of course our fellow critics and podcasters. The Nomcast is available on nomcastpod.com or wherever you get your podcasts, on the socials at nomcastpod, and is a part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
Do you like beer?
Do you like podcasts?
Do you like beer podcasts?
Then check out Crackin' One Open, a podcast about brews, news, and pop culture reviews.
Every week, we crack open a new craft beer from breweries around the country.
And sometimes the world.
We'll talk about how it was made, what's in it, the history of the brew, and the brewery.
Then we'll give our tasting notes, and while we're finishing up, we'll talk about some of the latest goings-on in the world of pop culture.
So check out Crackin' One Open with Mike and Elise, part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
This is yet another
DC animated podcast. Welcome to yet another episode of yet another DC animated podcast. My name is Shamar Griffith, codename Comic Shams.
And I am Andrew Tejada, codename Arte.
So, as y'all know, we're a whole podcast about DC stuff, DC Comics, DC live action, DC animation. And just the other day, on October 16th, 2021, DC had their very special DC Fandome event where they dropped everything DC related, things coming out for comics, for movies, for animated stuff, all coming out within the next couple of years. And I gotta say, just wow, like, it was just amazing to have a 4-hour experience of just learning about all this stuff. Andrew, what'd you think?
I loved right away that they tightened things up. Like last year was a great event, but there was definitely so much content and so much you kind of had to wade through last year.
Mm-hmm.
But this year they streamlined it. They focused on big announcements, and they were not afraid to throw out little tidbits in the middle that they knew wouldn't be the whole. They wouldn't warrant like a whole thing, but they were good to know. Like Flash is getting gold boots.
Oh, shit.
Hey now.
I need a pair of these. These are like now, like I'm calling them now the Air Flash like 8s or something. These just look so cool, honestly. Hearing Grant Gustin, who plays the Flash on the CW series, talk about his journey of trying to finalize this suit. Like, this was apparently like the last thing he ever always wanted on them. Like, this is it. This puts the suit together for him. So I'm kind of glad that he got his wish. And honestly, man, these look so cool. I wish they made a pair of them in real life.
All right, give them some time. They will.
And it started off with probably one of the biggest announcements of Black Adam. We got a first look. This is the DC anti-hero, I guess.
I don't know what they're doing with him, but he seems anti-hero-ish.
Yeah. So basically, if you love watching the movie Shazam, it's not the one with starring Shaquille O'Neal. It's Shazam, not Kazam.
Yes.
This one is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He is taking on this character as a passion project of his. And I gotta say, I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the feel of it. We got a first look of that, and that was pretty cool. Just like him in the suit, him using his power set. It was probably one of my favorite announcements that came out of DC Fandome, just to hear some more about what's happening here.
He reduced a man to dust with one hand. Like, this guy is a threat. Like, I don't know how anyone's going to fight him. And I did like seeing him in action. I also liked all the characters that are going to show up in that movie. We're getting Hawkman. We're getting Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate is going to be incredible. Like, I cannot wait to see that on screen.
Yeah, and there is just some surprising casting too. Like, I think we just had some, random superheroes and villains or anti-heroes pop up, like Atom Smasher, who I mainly know from the Flash TV series, but kind of cool to see just like a lot of the other people that got casted. And we trust The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He has our vote of confidence. The man can act, he can sing, he can dance. We just found out that he could rap in his latest song, Face Off, feature with Tech Nine and all. So it's just, I have faith in this film, as well as a lot of the other announcements that came out of it, which I think we could probably. I can't wait any longer. This is my favorite announcement of all, concerning DC's Milestone Media.
Oh yeah, it's last week we talked about Death of the Family. Now it's going to be the Death of the Wallet, because I know you're going to you're going to have to get that Milestone comic compendium they just announced.
Oh yeah, I'm like currently saving for it right now. Like I'm going to be eating ramen for the next couple of months.
Oh my god, it's like, what was it, 1,300 pages of every Milestone comic? Like,
yep. Oh my gosh. And it's a soft cover book. And they were measuring it out. This thing is like thicker than all of the science textbooks you're supposed to have in school from K through 12. Like I'm so happy for it, because to be honest, it is very hard to find a lot of these comics if you don't have like the mobile app of DC Universe Infinite. Like I've always come across a random static comic here and there, but this is like traveling across America. This is really the only way I've been able to find them.
Yeah, it's great that they're making it so convenient, and they also reinforced, teased it again, live action Static Shock movie.
Woo!
I know the script is written, but please can I have a date? Can I have a release window? Can I have a cast? Give me more.
Word, at least give us an idea of what this suit is going to look like. Low key kind of don't want it to look like the old kind of Static suit. I would love for it to be kind of more of a nod, like it's appreciated. But I think just because of the fact that we grew up on Static Shock and seeing that more iconic, like hooded jacket with the Static logo on it and him flying around on the trash can, it just made things, it's more relevant. Like I would love for that old suit to still be like kind of a nod in there, but we as the fans, we want to see that iconic suit and that shirt changing from white to black at one point from season 2 to 4.
Oh god. That it's going to be so refreshing when that finally like debuts, and they also announced, a new animated movie too, which is crazy when you think about it. Like, has there ever been a Milestone movie? Like, I don't think so.
Nah, not even in just the Static Shock series itself. There's been extended episodes, like maybe a 2-parter here and there, but for the most part, there's never been a dedicated amount of time. And this is going to be a crossover, as we heard. This is going to include all the heroes from the Milestone or Dakotaverse, including Static, Hardware, Icon, and Rocket. I'm not sure yet if they're going to include the Blood Syndicate. I know that they're trying to bring that back in the comics right now. But as of right now, I have a lot of faith in this film, especially because they announced that like, Brandon Thomas is working on it, and he's doing some great work with the Hardware season 1 comic that's been dropping recently. So I think this is going to be a really great film.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see more of these characters we don't get to see. And speaking of animated characters, Young Justice season 4 was like, woo! We're gonna do a trailer, but here's the other thing. We're starting right now. It's happening.
I'm very happy about the surprise. I just watched the first 2 episodes of it, and it's as a Black man in America, you should watch this show, or just as a person in America, you should watch this show, even though it does not take place on Earth.
Wow. Jeez. See, because Young Justice always has been on point with social commentary and their metaphors. So I 100% believe whatever they're doing, I have faith, and I'm excited to see it. Transitioning from Young Justice to Injustice, they gave us our first few minutes of the movie, and going into this Injustice movie, I have to be honest, there's a lot of dark Superman media out right now, with The Boys and Invincible. Yeah. So it's like, how do you set this apart? And it seems like what Injustice is doing is not being afraid to be absolutely brutal with these characters in just a sinister way I've not seen DC characters before.
Will say I love this. I think it was a great little snippet to drop, especially because when this story was first introduced, it was never actually included, the scenes that we saw. This was just told through storytelling and maybe like a flashback scene here and there, but never in this full form as it's doing it now. I love the art style, the animation of it. I think it's pretty cool to see that there's a bit more shadowing on a lot of these heroes. It kind of gives them more of a 3D effect, even though they are more line 2D drawings. Mm-hmm. Also, we just have the fact that like Justin Hartley, who has been a part of the DC family for years now. He started out as the Green Arrow on the Smallville. He's back voicing Superman this time around. Like, talk about a promotion. Like, he's went from Green Arrow to that unreleased Aquaman pilot TV show to now being the voice of Superman. It's kind of awesome.
And another glow up, Anson Mount, who, no fault of his own, but he was in the terrible Inhuman show from Marvel as Black Bolt, where he could not speak. Now he is allowed to speak as Batman. And I think from the snippet I heard, I thought he was doing a fantastic job. I think he has a good grasp of the character, and his voice is just perfect. Oh, absolutely perfect for Batman. So I want him to get that superhero redemption after Inhumans. Let's put that behind us finally.
Yes, definitely. And continuing on with our animated films, we've already been announced that Injustice is coming. It's going to be here just a couple of days. Next coming up is going to be the Catwoman Hunted animated film starring Elizabeth Giles as Catwoman.
Yes, Jade from Victorious. That's where you've seen her.
Yes.
That's why you were like, who is that? I know her. She is Jade. Oh my God.
This is such perfect casting. Like, Jade is the Catwoman that I never knew that I needed, but now I want after seeing this trailer.
Oh my God. She can do it all. She can sing, she can brood. She has that perfect, sarcastic, dark delivery for Catwoman. And I got to be honest, this was one of my favorite things to come out of DC Fandome this year. I don't really know what I was expecting the Catwoman movie to be, but it feels so funny. It feels so like light and hopeful, and like she's bantering with Batwoman, and she's going around with like, "What, did you sign up for this?" And Batwoman's like, you have to think about it. It's like, I love it. And Catwoman is always like welded to Batman. It's like she has to exist in Batman. And there's some great stories that come from that. But it's nice to see her get a story by herself that isn't with Halle Berry and just allowed to have fun and run free and just do cat things. I love to see it.
Also, Andrew, we promise we would never bring up the Halle Berry Catwoman movie ever again.
Damn it. All right. Sorry.
That's a $1 in the jar.
Yeah. Put it in the swear jar.
And man, I love it too. It's just like, I cannot wait to watch this film. It just seems, again, like you were saying, just so much fun, especially because the animation style is very heavily adopting the Japanese anime style, which I was not expecting to see in a movie about Catwoman at all. Like, I think leaning into this just kind of brings it a little closer to the fandom now. I know that right now, Japanese animation is very big. Star Wars Visions just did a 7-part series in which they reached out to 7 different studios to just create their own stories. So like, I love seeing this like branching artwork of connecting all these different realms of animation and storytelling. It's so great. And I'm glad that Catwoman's kind of spearheading this work. I'm just going to not mention about Batman Ninja because I think that Catwoman Hunted is going to be what we need to make that bridge happen.
Yeah, Batwoman Ninja, where Buster Bluth was the Joker. It was a weird It was a weird time. It's a weird time to be alive.
Yeah.
So we're going to be very covered on the movie front, and also just as covered on the TV front, because basically everything got renewed.
Yeah. Woo, oh man, this is so much content.
Oh yeah. You want more Pennyworth? You got it. And that sounds sarcastic and like I'm making fun of the show, but it is very entertaining, actually. I the big thing with Pennyworth for me was it was on Epix.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what Epix is, I don't blame you. I don't know what it is either. And finding episodes on Epix and through my roommate's free trial that he could only get occasionally was a pain. And I was out of touch with the show because I just couldn't find it. And now they're finally going to put it on HBO Max. So I can actually, DC seems to be moving to putting everything on either HBO Max or CW. Good.
Yes.
I'm tired of going to 11 different networks to watch every DC show. I want it simple.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. And especially because, again, like I haven't watched any episode of Pennyworth. When Krypton finally dropped on the streaming service, yo, I was so glad when it dropped on DC Universe until DC Universe kind of crapped out Endgame, which just sold everything over to HBO Max. Like, I agree. Having two networks there where your shows are premiering, that's what you need to do. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, just keep it simple. You know, I understand getting it all on one is hard, but two is great. And so it's going to be easier to catch up on Pennyworth. Doom Patrol and Titans are fully moving to HBO Max, which I think they acted like it was a surprise. We're like, we know.
Yeah, it was like your entire season 3 has been on HBO Max. We understand.
We're also getting Naomi premiering.
Yes.
I know nothing. Do you know any more about Naomi? Because I know literally nothing except the title of the show.
Yes, Naomi is a newcomer to the DC comic book world. Her comic premiered a good couple of years ago. It was around the same time that DC Rebirth dropped. They were really, once again, trying to change the paradigm of just what kind of heroes are out there available in the world. Some heroes came back, some new ones were created. And Naomi, this show coming to the CW very soon. Shout out to Ava DuVernay to just like basically spearheading this because she has a lot of productions that are coming out. So very much looking forward to a lot of them. And this one is about a girl who is just obsessed with the DC heroes. She's kind of part-time reporter in high school, just wants to know more about it, but she feels this like connection to super heroics that she doesn't understand. And it was great because she actually figures out a lot of this heroes' identities in some of the comics. Like, again, this is really, I think only one part of the comic series has dropped. And in it, she finds out more about her own lineage and why she has this connection to wanting to be a hero. It's a great read, especially because, again, in comic book worlds, we need some more heroes of color. I think DC's heavily leaning into that right now. Like a lot of these heroes are being reimagined or being created to be people of color. Like right now we have Batman being Jace Fox in the future state comics. We have Naomi coming out right now. I'm very much looking forward to the other characters that DC wants to create. And they're also heavily, again, investing in DC milestone media, which is so great to finally see these people get in their time to shine, not just in the comic books, but in all forms of media. So I would say I'm very much looking forward to Naomi. Definitely read the comic. I think, again, it's just like a fun read for people who wants to have some more Black superheroes out there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The representation is so important. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be kind of in the vein of Superman and Lois. Very different from the other Arrowverse shows. It looks different. It feels different. And I hope we get more of, more of that. Is the Arrowverse okay? That is my question. I do know it's too early in the year to say renewals for shows. But for me, it felt a lot like with Supergirl winding down and Legends of Tomorrow celebrating 100. it almost felt like we're winding down on a few of these shows. I don't know how you felt because we got Flash, Arrow, not Arrow, Flash Legends, Stargirl, and Batwoman, and yeah,
possibly Naomi. It seems
Naomi. I don't know if it's going to be in the
right
universe. And Superman and Lois, I know it's its own thing at this point. Like, it's part of the Arrowverse, but is it? Yeah. Is it really? Have you ever explained why his teenage sons are old, but it's still the same time period as everything else?
Yeah, I kind of have very similar sentiments. Like after watching the trailer for Batwoman, just as a reminder, season 1 focusing on the original Batwoman of Kate Kane adopting the identity. However, by the end of season 1, the actress decided to step away due to undisclosed reasons. And then we shifted into a new version of Batwoman played by Javicia Leslie, who is doing great in the role. And they've really kind of like adopted and created and expanded a bit more in the story. However, season 3 is looking like they're still trying to settle. So like, I think with Flash still being like the person kind of like leading the forefront and all this, 8 seasons is a long run. And I'm not saying that you need to end it, but it does seem like a lot of these stories, like the characters have reached the peak of their character development. The only thing you can do now is just like introduce new stories and new characters to hopefully create new shows. But I think that because a lot of this shift is happening from a lot of the shows going on to HBO Max and expanding on this universe to the darker, more probably adult versions of all these DC heroes to hopefully create some more compelling storytelling versus the not campy, but more just like the age appropriate kind of styling of the CW shows. I think they're trying to figure out where they need to lean into because like the CW opened the door. Like, I'll always give them that. They opened the door for a lot of this stuff. Like, we wouldn't be invested in just like having Ezra Miller as the Flash now in his upcoming movie. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that, we had a Flash TV show. So Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin walked so that all of these other shows and things could run.
Yeah, it's like I was a big fan of Arrow, and I know what the rough spots were, but I still followed it weekly. I remember tuning in to see, what was Oliver up to. And I had never cared about Green Arrow before here. I just thought he was like, oh, it's like Hawkeye, but green, I didn't know anything about him. And it really got me invested. And I think CW had captured this this fresh feeling of, you haven't seen this character in live action really delved into. And they did that with Flash and Green Arrow and all the legends so well. And now that the kind of the novelty of like this character, a character we know is being reinterpreted is done. Now I feel like they're trying to figure out how to break out. And I think all the CW shows have this similar Monster of the Week format.
Yeah.
That Superman and Lois shattered. Superman and Lois went way up outside of that concept. And to some extent, I feel like Naomi will also do that. Stargirl, kind of, but still sort of Monster of the Week stuff. And I think now they need to kind of either evolve or let the CW verse kind of wind down and focus on individual shows again. I think either or is not a bad choice, but yeah, we don't want to get to a point where we're like the 20th season of Flash, he's up there with Dean and the Winchesters, like we don't want to see that happen to him. We want a graceful and good end for the Flash and other shows like this.
Yeah. But if they're down to do it, to keep on going and able to really tell some great stories, then go right ahead. Like, we're not going to stop you. I mean, we don't have any superpowers to stop the Flash. So, do what you need to do. But speaking about other shows, we also got a quick look at like a new animated series called My Adventures with Superman. coming out. We also got a chance to see some new scenes of the Aquaman, the King of Atlantis animated series that is dropping on HBO Max right now.
Yeah, that we'll see. I think it'll be nice to put on when I'm in a weird mood. Because it doesn't seem to be canon. So no, just the animated thing that I need to, maybe you know more about it, but what is this webtoon comics Grayson Family Adventures? I keep seeing it pop up. I'm no closer to understanding what's happening.
Yeah, I got to catch up on it, but I do like the concept. It is what's happening, like basically within the homes of the Wayne Manor. And it is the first time that we actually have the entire Wayne family come together and interacting with each other in a series, because Batman, the animated series from back in the day, never had a Jason Todd. This is the first time kind of where all these characters are coming into play. So it is just really just a fun kind of like everyday scenarios of the series. And it's very popular. It started out again as a webtoon. So now they're trying to shift it into more animated production, which I'm looking forward to, because there are just so many great stories that you can tell with that. And just because, again, it is just like the everyday life of these characters. Like, you don't need to always show the heroics that are happening. Sometimes I just want to know, it's like, what is it like for Jason Todd when he goes out to try and buy some milk? Like, does he wear the full-on gear? Does he walk into the store and he's just like, does he drink skim milk or almond milk? Like, these are questions I need to know, man.
Yeah, is he into like a weird like experimental goat milk? It seems like he would be. Unpasteurized. I think that is, I think that's okay. So now I understand. It's more a lax side of Batman, because
Right.
But I'm also excited for the dark side of Batman, because they hinted Batman the Animated Series is going to be reinvigorated, coming back in a different form. That's going to be darker. It's going to do things they couldn't do on the show, and they did some crazy things on the show.
Oh yeah.
So I am thrilled at the idea of getting more Batman the Animated Series in a more mature light.
Yeah, this time around, this was going to be called Batman Cape Crusader. He is adopting more of his his cowl ears are going to resemble very much like how he looked like when the comic first dropped of his. So he's going to have these kind of like actual bat looking ears rather than versus the two little like pikes on top of his head. This is coming from Matt Reeves alongside with J.J. Abrams, I believe, and also Bruce Timm. So they're all coming together to create this series. I have mixed feelings about it, because I do like the idea of being able to tell these kinds of stories, but I feel like some of these stories might have been hit already, or at least we just like didn't dive in as deep maybe as what they're planning on doing. Like Beware the Batman was a short animated CGI-ish kind of series that took Bruce Wayne into this more darker side. Like, I don't know if maybe they're trying to do this darker side of Batman where it doesn't always contend with just like him facing off against the Joker and all these other characters that just made him famous throughout the years. I don't know. Maybe it just might be he's actually going through more of the D-listers in his rogues gallery. I mean, I do have confidence that Matt Reeves will be able to create something out of here, just because of, we'll talk about it soon, but the Batman movie that's coming out, and of course having Bruce Timm in your on by your side and creating the stuff. I have confidence that this will be a pretty decent show. I just worry that because there's just been so much Batman content out there, that some of these stories might feel like they're just repeating.
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, what you said about D-listers made me think, like, if this series incorporates Tusk and if Snaky Doyle is a villain, if we finally get Tusk and Snaky Doyle teaming up, I mean,
I will watch this 100%. I'm gonna need 5 seasons in the movie.
No, and I get you. Like, there's a lot of Batman stuff coming out, especially now, and you got the fun, quirky Robin family stuff that will feel different, but how does this feel different from all the other edgy Batman stuff is going to be the question. And yeah, so we'll see that definitely come out. And then rounding out the TV news, Harley Quinn's coming back. Woo! I wish we had more to say about it, but there isn't much to go on. It's Harley Quinn and Ivy are going to cause trouble. Bane's going to come back for revenge. We know from the sketches. It looks fun. It looks like it's going to be another fun, fantastic season. I can't wait. I always love more Harley Quinn.
I love the tagline, the eat, bang, kill. And also it looked like we were going to get like a Court of Owls episode in this. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Court of Owls is going to be huge this year. It's in video games. It's in media.
I think also it's going to have a bit of reference in the Batman movie that's coming out with Robert Pattinson. Like, I would be shocked if they don't include it. They've exploded since 2011. We have our own episode on them just with the Batman versus Robin movie. So
watch it now.
Yeah,
I'm excited. And then rounding out the TV news, Ava DuVernay. I know she had been previously attached to a New Gods project, but now she's doing DMZ, which seems to be, from what I'm getting, it's a futuristic state. And Rosario Dawson is going to lead some kind of rebellion. And look, Rosario Dawson in the lead of anything superhero adjacent yes.
Just take my money.
Here's my bank account.
Right.
You can have it. Like,
here's some Bitcoin. I don't know.
Yeah. I love Rosario. I think I finally want her to be the lead and not just a romantic interest in a superhero film. I cannot wait for this. And Ava DuVernay, who is amazing, is
right. So that was the TV news. Gaming news real quick too. We did mention about the Court of Owls. They're going to be in the Gotham Knights game that's coming out. I very much looking forward to this. It just reminds me so much. It gives me the same feel of the Batman Arkham series, which I own like every version of this thing. So very much looking forward to it, because I think that it's just kind of cool that you get to play as different members of the Bat family. We're
going to be doing some co-op play when this comes out.
Oh yeah, we need to. Yeah, we definitely need. We need a 4-person team. Just go through Gotham.
My God, I could get it. I know at least one other person. We can get it.
And that was other news on the game front. I forgot about this. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
Yes, I knew Superman was going to be evil. And I knew it was implied that the whole Justice League might be too. But yeah, seeing Flash taunt the heroes and be like, what do you think you were going to do? I love it. I love evil Flash. Harley Quinn, King Shark, Captain Boomerang, and Deadshot are going to go after the Justice League. That looks like they've been turned evil by Brainiac. That's my guess.
Yeah, I was hoping it looks like it's Brainiac. I know that there are other aliens out there that it could have been, but it just seemed the color scheme and everything was either Brainiac or completely different universes. Chitauri. It just seems like that.
Or like Starro got his ITT tech certificate and now is like doing technological stuff. Yeah, so I want to see some gameplay with this, like some real but I'm gonna go. I think I'll try this out too, and there seem to be hints that there could be some other characters introduced. So I'm down. I'm down to play both of these like really wild and different DC games.
Yeah, especially just because from the dialogue and the creative narrative direction that they went through, they're just already great stories that even if you don't play the games, I'm probably gonna try to see if I can find the cutscenes all put together and just watch this as a movie. Like it's such a great story that they're just creating. So definitely getting this game, definitely playing this game. I'm looking forward to just kind of like, playing as King Shark actually.
Yes, King Shark is a shark. Let's go. So yeah, that's video games, it's TV. And now moving on, our movie roundup.
Yeah.
to
Do want to
close
say
out.
two quick things
Yeah.
about comics. Superman getting the new tagline. I think it reads
Oh,
much better.
yes.
It's
Yes.
so much better. So it is truth. Superman is now fighting for a truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Which, yes, I think this has been something that has been in the works, I think, probably for years. Like even in the Superman and Lois show, it got mentioned a little bit. There was a joke over the fact that the American way was the original tagline, and realizing that, and it was addressed so well in that episode. It's just like, there's more than one country, there's more than one culture, that there's so much out there. And I think a better tomorrow resonates so much more with what the man of tomorrow is all about.
Yeah, it was high time. It's hokey, and I think that's what people dislike most about Superman. It's like his like over like the patriotic feel that he carries, and that it's just tied to that. Even though he's an alien from a planet that exploded, he's not American,
right.
very technically. So I think, and he fights for everybody. So I think it's a much better and cleaner tagline.
Yeah. And the other news on the comic book front, we've asked for this many, many times, and finally glad to see it finally happen. Wonder Woman is not only going to be releasing an 80th anniversary, like kind of big book. She's going to have exercise book, but more importantly, Wonder Woman Trial of the Amazons is coming out. And we're going to finally see every single version of the Amazons that have been created throughout DC history. And by which we're talking about Artemis, Nubia, Cassie Sandsmark is Wonder Girl, and also Donna Troy is Wonder Girl. Queen Hippolyta is going to be coming through, all fighting together with Wonder Woman. I cannot wait for this one. I'm very glad that we finally are going to be able to see more stories about her. And hopefully, if this is really great, I'm hoping that this could turn into either live action or animated production, because again, we need to see these other Amazons out there.
Yes. Yeah. More Amazons. Because besides Catwoman, we didn't get too many female-led announcements of like stories. I know there were hints that like we might get a Green Lantern movie coming soon. That there's some kind of Batman Battle of the Super Sons, something like that. Was hinted. So we got a little teases, but like let's get the ladies in there. Let's get some Zatanna. Let's expand a little bit. Let's branch out a little bit into the many heroines of the DC universe.
Yeah, that was the comic book stuff, and now finally we're going to close it out with the movies, the movies that were announced, the movies that are in production, and the new stuff that we got to see.
Yes. So because it's boarded movies TV, we saved it for here. Peacemaker. We got our first look at the Peacemaker trailer, and automatically Peacemaker's dad being T-1000, Robert Patrick, who played the T-1000 in Terminator 2. I mean, that's going to explain a lot about Peacemaker's upbringing in childhood.
Yep.
And this is another trailer that it's just so ridiculous and fun. He's hanging out with an eagle that giving him a hug. We have a whole team behind him that doesn't know what to do. And I guess he's working off his prison sentence. And we also have my favorite introduction of a character, Vigilante, who was taken so seriously on Arrow recently. And I think he's popped up in other media, but Arrow is where I remember Vigilante most. And it was such a serious, grounded hero, like gritty hero. And now he's just this goofy guy running around like, hey, Peacemaker, what's up? Like, come on. That's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this version of Vigilante is definitely going to serve as the comedic relief throughout a lot of this show, even though the show already seems like it's going to be full of comedy. I am so looking forward to kind of like what they're thinking about doing. And the most surprising thing about this whole thing for me was that this show is dropping on January 13th. Like it's going to be here like before you know it. Like we don't have to wait another year. Like they've already got this thing done and in the bag, it seems like.
They used all the advanced technology so you could see John Cena on camera. So don't disrespect them and miss out on this series. You know? We both saw Suicide Squad together, and we loved it. We had such a great time. Mm-hmm. So to know that humor, and I know it's going to get crazy. It's James Gunn. It's John Cena. It's going to get absolutely nuts, and I can't wait to see how they do it.
Yes. Yeah, man. It was probably one of my favorite announcements that came out, and just like what's to come. Because most of the other stuff was relatively old-ish news, but we kind of got some more insight and first looks. Like, one of my favorite running jokes throughout this thing was that a lot of the people were like, we wanted to create a teaser trailer for you, but we didn't have enough footage, or we wanted to create a trailer or like drop some concept art, but we didn't have enough. So here's this thing. It's just like, what happened here? And that specifically happened for the Flash movie, which honestly, even though they said they didn't create a lot of stuff, there was a shit ton that got revealed in that.
Yeah, I think that was a fake out. Like, I think, prior to the Flash, you had Aquaman 2 and Shazam 2, and legitimately they didn't have anything really done, like post-production wise. Mm-hmm. So it was all behind the scenes footage. But you could still put together some things, like in terms of Aquaman 2, Orm is free, apparently. Black Manta is back. Randall Park is back. Very briefly, he's like seen cowering in some ice. And there was some gorgeous concept art. Could we tell you what the story's going to be about? Absolutely not. They didn't give us enough to go on. But it looks like it's going to be, another crazy James Wan adventure. Again, there's really nothing, not much to say more about Aquaman 2 at this point. Shazam 2, though, Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren, fresh off of Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. I think also it's just crazy that the kid that played Billy Batson just like is basically looking like he could be Shazam's stunt double now. That was talk about a growth spurt. Like, jeez.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, these kids are growing fast, and yeah, I love seeing that they're going to keep the Shazam family concept and have them all fighting. Because if Black Adam is showing up too, they're going to need all everybody in the Shazam family to come out.
Yo, facts.
So yeah, not too much about story reveals, just characters and people we're going to see in those two movies. But yeah, Flash was even though like minute of footage they gave us, huge. We've covered Flashpoint extensively here, and if you haven't heard that one yet, go to watch it. But yes, so there's some mix of Flashpoint elements here that I noticed. First of all, Barry Allen is standing next to Barry Allen.
I was trying to figure that out too, because I was just like, that wouldn't make sense based off of Flashpoint rules, but does it make sense in terms of alternate reality rules? Like, how does this work out here? Because I just wasn't sure.
I guess we can assume, like, to get really nerdy here, guys, excuse us. In the Flash TV show, I do remember there was an episode where he went back into the past of a space he already occupied and was able to interact with himself in the past, Barry.
Oh, okay.
So, and he tried not to spill the beans that he was there, but his past self eventually found out. But so there is a precedent for two Barry Allens interacting. They just if Barry goes back in time, but he doesn't go exactly back to the time he left, he could run into himself. Okay. So maybe that's what's happening, but I that's my best guess.
See, this is why you don't mess with the space-time continuum. You have us now questioning what is real, what's not, and we can't give y'all the answers because we're just as confused. But I would say that's probably the best closest answer we got.
Two flashes. There was a mysterious woman in the background? Is that his daughter? Is that
No, I think that was it looked like she was where that's Sasha Kaye, who was playing Supergirl.
Oh, it's Iris. Oh, Supergirl. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I think that was her. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I'm really glad that they decided not to do the blondish hair that they usually do for Supergirl. I think this kind of looks really cool on her. And I'm looking forward to like what they're gonna do next. Like I do have to rewatch the trailer. I could be mistaken, but it does look like it is Sasha, who is playing Supergirl, that is hanging out in the background, who is confirmed to be in this movie as well.
Well, that makes more sense than what I was thinking. Oh, so yep, Barry looks like Barry's running back to save his mom, and of course that disrupts the entire universe.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, one of the biggest moments of the trailer, Bat Keaton.
Yes.
We see the ears. We know the ears. So Keaton's back as Batman. And so my question, I know in promotional media it says he's playing an older version of Batman. Mm-hmm. But is he really playing Thomas Wayne and they're trying to mess with us? That's my question.
I feel like it has to be, because I feel like by now we should have gotten an opportunity to hear that Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Thomas Wayne in the Batman versus Superman movie in that flashback, I feel like we would have heard by now if he was coming through again, especially because the Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohen ship of them playing Joker and Thomas Wayne Batman was what we wanted. So like, I kind of like it. If Michael Keaton is playing a Thomas Wayne Batman, I think it matches. I think that his growth as an actor since then we've definitely seen him lean a bit more into a more not evil side, but more kind of gives no fucks kind of side. So I think that if he does play it, and if you're right, Andrew, kudos to you, man, because like that would be an awesome performance, honestly.
Yeah, because the Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Maggie Cohen as Batman and Joker, such a missed opportunity. Because even when you see them interact on Walking Dead, spoilers, I'm sorry, they interact on Walking Dead. That is like just a tease of what could be if she was the Joker and it was flipped. Oh, damn it. But if Michael Keaton is Thomas Wayne, I'm not going to complain either.
And continuing on the Batman front, we do have a couple more reveals that came through. Like we got a not necessarily a Bat family member, but because of Batman Brave and the Bold, we got a concept art of Blue Beetle in his suit. I love the suit. It looks very much like it's like he looks like he was about to go out and play ball. It looked kind of cool.
Yes. And I loved about that tease specifically was that you have Spanish creators.
Yes.
And the Spanish team, and our young Cobra Kai star as Blue Beetle. This, again, long overdue representation, important. You've heard us sing the old song, but to see him taking on that role, to see next to a Batwoman, Batgirl or Batwoman show.
It's going to be Batgirl, played by Leslie Grace, who recently just finished off the movie version of In the Heights. I can't remember if it was a show or a movie. Okay, no, sorry, it is a show. It's a show. Yeah, so Leslie Grace is going to be playing Batgirl. We also got some really great concept art there. Was confirmed that Leslie Grace is currently actively training for this because she's going to be participating in her own fight scenes. And she's also going to be wearing the full cowl and have the red hair, the iconic style of Batgirl. So,
yeah, it's a more diverse universe than ever, and it's just great to see that and to see that reflected outwards. That the DC universe is starting to look like our universe a lot more.
Yeah, it's so great. I'm very excited for it, and just wrapping it all up right now. At the very end of it, we got.
Did something happen at the end? I don't remember. Did we get a trailer or something?
Yeah, we got a big trailer. This is something that's been talked about for weeks. Like people have been waiting for this, but we got a new trailer for the Batman. Yes, our very own Twilight star who's grown since then, Robert Pattinson, is playing the Batman. He is donning the cowl. He is joining the many other versions of Batman that's been out there. And I gotta say, from this trailer, I'm really excited for it. I thought that this was going to be one of those one and done kind of things, but like, you know, like maybe like a Ben Affleck kind of style. But this one seems like this is kind of like the grittier Batman that a lot of us grew up on when it came to more of the Christian Bale Batman. It gave me that kind of feeling and sense.
Yeah, there's a point in the trailer where Batman, you know, as he does, beats up a guy for selling an eighth on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And Catwoman is visibly like, whoa, yo, chill, bad dude. So to see him like so unhinged, I don't know if we've seen. Batfleck did a little bit of this, but I don't know if we've seen something so raw before. To see a Batman that is so off the edge and like willing to die. You know, Alfred's like, if you keep doing this, you're gonna die, and he's like, doesn't matter if I die. It's like, whoa, Bruce, come on now, hang on, we want to see you in at least 2 movies. So yeah, I like to see him unhinged. The cinematography is they're gorgeous. There's a shot where he's diving off a building and it's first person perspective. That is amazing. There's another shot where he's just walking through gunfire. Like
that was beautiful.
Like it's nothing. Like it is nothing. Oh my God. It is looking really good. Just surface level. And story-wise, again, they're keeping Riddler on the outskirts, and I applaud this move. I think less is more with him.
Yeah.
And I think increasing the mystery, pun intended, around the Riddler is gonna help, you know, not putting all the eggs in the basket, not putting him in a green costume, you know, little hints. And speaking of little hints, I know we talked about this earlier, but Court of Owls is definitely in this movie, right?
Yeah, it feels like they're going with that story arc. It is something that I think that recently came out in more times than just the mindset. And I think this is probably why they're leaning into it. It's just like Bruce Wayne finds out about this connection that his family probably had with the Court of Owls and how they're kind of like influencing everything in Gotham. It definitely has that sense. And this is why I feel like, again, why Batman just seems so unhinged in this. It's because as he finds out more and more of his, you know, long going connection to crime that he never knew existed, it makes sense that a man who's adopted this mentality of he needs to fight for justice and he needs to take out all crimes and then find out that he could be a pawn in this other crime front. It seems like a perfect reason. And then that's why I also agree the Court of Owls are in there. Like, I'll be shocked if we go through this whole movie and there's not even a reference to them.
Yeah. It feels like it's their time. And I think it's too coincidental that we got another trailer from DC Fandome where the Penguin was like, beware the Court of Owls. And again, we see a penguin against a Batman, and there's a mystery about another organization. So I think they're kind of hinting subtly that we're going to see Court of Owls in a movie, and that's going to be incredible. Like,
I'm very excited for the Batman coming out in March of 2022. So very glad that we finally no longer delaying this film. And that kind of rounded up DC Fandome. It was a great experience. We got like a couple of more stuff that came out, some new comics, some stories. DC Super Pets is coming out. Like,
sure.
Yeah, that's going to be top tier film. This is going to be the blockbuster winner here.
Yeah, that's going to be a best animated picture. Let's call it now. Yes, I think overall DC Fandome, vast improvement from last year. I think, again, the format was so great. There was a lot of like little tidbits in between. They knew how to make it flow. I think if I could make an R-Day alteration, I think I would like to see just a little bit more from their live action shows. I think I would like to see some insights, and it was cool that they paid homage to Supergirl and took the time. But I think I would like to see more conversations with casts, especially with Legends and Flash. Flash has a huge cast. I would love to see, like, Grant Gustin, you're great, and I loved that they used Candice Patton.
The newsflash.
Iris.
That was great.
That was inspired. But come on, I'd love to talk to Sue Dibney. Wait, not Dibney yet. I love to talk to Sue. I'd love to talk to Cisco, especially since he left. Love to talk to Harrison Wells, of course.
Yeah,
it was me all along. Come on. So I think, just a little bit more TV exclusives, I think would balance it out. But honestly, it's a minor gripe. I give it a 9 out of 10. I loved it. Was perfect length. Where are you? What do you give DC Fandome to The Revenge, Electric Boogaloo?
I would give it definitely a 8 or 9 out of 10. It was just such a fun experience with a lot of great reveals. I think one of the most important things was that it doesn't feel like they're just leaning into just one thing in particular. A lot of the times when we get these, like, here are these announcements that we're having from this particular company, it's like we're dropping a new product, or we're here's one new show that we're going to announce. This felt like we're going to hit you with movies, we're going to hit you with shows, we're going to hit you with books, we're going to hit you with games. Like, all media was covered, and and it connected people throughout generations, throughout backgrounds. And one of the most important things too was that, like, to change some of their old styling, by which I mean the Superman line of Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow. That was important. That is important. That is just so what we needed right now, because it is something that just echoes out through that. They're not just a media company. They know that they have this influence. So I'm glad that this happened. I definitely agree with you. It's just like, we'll have to see some more time with, like, the cast and other things, because sometimes it just felt like in a 4-hour show, like, this would have been a great time just to, like, hear from more of not just, like, the main people who are on the show, but, sometimes some of these supporting characters can provide some great behind the scenes content for us that doesn't necessarily have to reveal or spoil any secrets. You can just talk about their journey and how they felt while maybe recording this scene, or writing this book, or designing this concept. So it's been great to just, like, hear more from them.
Yeah. And and also let Smallville actors, let Lex and Superman host this. They were so funny. They were so freaking funny. Let them host the whole thing,
Yo, yes, because so I would definitely say those two, I think, leading the show, agree. They're just so much fun. But that's it. That was a quick run through of DC Fandome, our feelings, our reactions. We, just like DC Fandome expanding out in their universe and just giving us so much more content to cover, we also have some more things coming down the pipeline. Next week, we promise you all that because Wonder Woman Bloodlines, we just felt like we need to talk about more about her character. We are going to be doing a Wonder Woman profile episode in which we discuss everything about her character, her origins, her stories, and hopefully her future. And the other thing that we're doing alongside of the two, starting this week, we're going to be doing a Wonder Woman fundraiser with Safe Horizon, where we are going to be raising funds to help women to feel more empowered, especially to escape domestic violence, because this, again, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we're asking that you go to our page and our social medias and head on over to our landing page, so you can donate $19.41 in honor of the year of Wonder Woman's creation, so that we can, really raise some money here and really embody the mission that Wonder Woman had for herself and wants to share with others. So we're going to join her on that journey, and I hope that you join us too.
Yes, Sid. I couldn't have said it any better. It's a good cause, and it's a good heroine. So if you can contribute in any way or even spread the message to other people of what we're doing here and how we're trying to support and give back, that's good too. So anything you can do to help, we would sincerely appreciate.
All right. Until then, take care of yourselves and always remember that DC is here for you. Yeah, another DC anime podcast is here for you and all this DC stuff. And, don't worry, we got some stuff coming down the pipeline, as we said, especially very soon, maybe a season 2 announcement.
Oh, yes. And also do not commit any crimes in Robert Pattinson's Gotham.
Oh, yeah, don't.
Lose all motor function. Your bones will be cracked. Don't do it.
Yeah, and that hospital bill alone.
That's going to kill you.